If you've read the Advisor Playbook, and if you've read the Blue Square Method and you agreed with our philosophy and approach, but maybe you weren't able to translate these concepts into results, and perhaps you've gone deeper into coaching and consulting and been underwhelmed with how you were able to bring client acquisition and practice management to life, AI can take all of that to the next level. You've heard the expression, after all is said and done, more is often said than done. What I get excited about is what gets done, what gets implemented. AI can put you in the red zone with so many of the tasks and workflows you're trying to take advantage of. Artificial intelligence. I won't spend a lot of time talking about what it is. Clearly, it's machine learning, and it is going to revolutionize pretty much every aspect of our personal and professional life. I'm sure you've dabbled to some extent. Maybe you've gone a little deeper. Let's talk about what AI does. It will and can enhance your referability. It will elevate your client experience. It will enable you to scale up and grow your business on your terms. It will also enable you to reduce value complexity, to demystify your value so that clients and strategic partners fully understand and appreciate what you do. And at the end of the day, it will drive your enterprise value. Remember, in the spirit of beginning with the end in mind, every business is built to be sold at some point. And every investment of effort you make working on your business culminates in your end game. So I've got a question for you. Where does your sand go? Are you expending effort or are you investing it? You know, it's interesting. Often when we coach a financial professional, we do a time audit. If an advisor works 45 hours in a week, typically they'll spend 15 hours managing money, 15 hours managing their business, 15 hours managing their clients. 2 of those 3 are proprietary. How you manage money, not proprietary. Your business and your clients, those are yours. We want to make sure you're not transacting in any way, shape, or form, trading time for money, because that's like putting sand into a shopping cart. We want you to put sand in your hourglass. The power of incrementalism, working on your business, refining and optimizing what you do, creates liberation and order in your life and enables you to find that sweet spot between high tech and high touch. I want to spend a moment explaining why it is non-optional to be a serious student about AI. Incidentally, of all the things I read on a regular basis around AI and videos I watch, my favorite, pretty much on a daily basis, is called The Rundown. If you're on Twitter X, you can follow them there, or you can just go to their website and subscribe to their daily blog. One of the reasons why I love this is because it's speaking to the AI community about innovations and breakthroughs. They do job postings. It just gives you an opportunity, a window into the field, finger on the pulse. But as a financial professional, these are the 3 primary reasons why you have to absolutely go all in. Number 1, as a fiduciary, there is a seismic shift happening again across the world of commerce, but definitely in the form of technology, I mean, we all know the household names, right? OpenAI, right? Chat, GPT, all the blue chip companies, NVIDIA. There are now over 70,000 businesses actively operating within the world of AI. And I just want to make sure, based on the adoption curve, as your clients start to understand this space and become more curious, you're way out in front of that, understanding the landscape and where this space is going directionally. As a fiduciary, as a professional, often what separates the best from the rest is the best work on the business, not in the business. It's not a book of business. It's funny when a financial advisor says the words book of business, I think of busyness. Again, spinning their wheels, trading time for money. It is a business. And ultimately, you want to drive the efficiency and the productivity of your business and make sure it serves your life, not the other way around. I'll get into that as a professional. And then as an individual, personally, it is fascinating. Let's say I wanted to go to France for a month and I wanted to brush up on my French. I could take a French course. I could watch videos and try to interact. Do you know I can go into ChatGPT and simply say to it, speak to me in French, and I can actually talk into ChatGPT. It will translate, and then it will engage in a real-time role play interaction in French. Of all the goals you have working on your business and what that will ultimately do for you, there's three that come to mind that are absolutely at the top. Number one, contrast, professional contrast. Keep putting distance between yourself and the so that you're more attractive than anybody to very attractive clients. Contrast. Conversion. Converting customers into fully empowering clients and clients into referral generating advocates. And convergence. Convergence is when all of your efforts synchronize, leading you to an inflection point. Contrast, conversion, convergence. Look at the pattern. The word on is in all three of those words. Are you tracking in this direction? Now, as a coach and a consultant in the financial services space, leading a team, working with some of the best advisory businesses in the industry, this last 5 years has been very revealing. And here's what I've seen. There's three types of advisors. There's the advisors who are coasting, making minimal adaptations. And respectfully, that group is on a collision course with obsolescence. There are many forces at play that will be merciless. I don't know how many advisors AI will replace, but AI will definitely replace advisors that don't embrace AI. I often talk about a book written by Alvin Toffler called Future Shock, where he describes this concept called the new illiterate, which has nothing to do with the ability to read or write. It has everything to do with the ability to adapt. The clay must be soft. Then there's the advisors who are cresting. They're still growing, but they haven't gotten out in front of and addressed their capacity issues. And they're on a collision course with a plateau. They're just going to max out. They're going to run out of time. AI will enable you, and I'll show you in just a moment, how to achieve professional scarcity. So AI might not replace this group, but there may be displacement. And by that, I mean just disruption, knocked off course, distracted. So coasting, cresting, and then my favorite group, climbing. So it's not about replacement or displacement. It's about enhancement. These are the advisors that are already adopting AI. And here's the thing. High tech will give you efficiencies and optimizations. But ultimately what it enables you to do is go deeper into emotional intelligence, relationship management. The one thing AI will never have is EI. Managing people, managing your business. Okay. I'm going to do a quick plug here. Okay. You're watching this high-level webinar on best practices for AI in a financial services business. We're putting the finishing touches on a white paper on AI. That will be available in Q4 of 2024. So look for that. Secondly, we're also going to be unveiling a membership program called the Turnkey Advisor. The Turnkey Advisor is the advisor who places as much importance on practice management and relationship management as they do on asset management. Many advisors we know are for all intents and purposes getting out of the asset management business. That 15 hours a week they spend managing money, they're taking that down to 5. They're taking that 10 and plowing it into their business, plowing it into their relationships. They are turnkey. They have unlimited scale and growth, and they also have a business that serves their life. So you can go on a wait list to see the merit in joining the Turnkey Advisor membership program. It'll be a steady stream of insights on what separates the best from the rest, including using AI. And we are building AI into all of our learning management functionality to assist with implementation. And thirdly, we're adding AI coaching, actual coaching and consulting on how an advisor, if you're looking for an accountability partner as a financial advisor, we can offer that up. So you can schedule a call. So 3 quick plugs there. Let's get back into it. So where do you start? Taking a deeper dive into AI. Well, first of all, your knowledge. Being a serious student, obviously your technical ability and core competency, it goes beyond compliance and what you have to do. You're a lifelong planner. Use AI to accelerate, to take 3 hours of learning in a week down to 30 to 60 minutes. Remember something, just look down the road. AI has already aced the CFP. Virtually every knowledge for profit, fee for service sector out there, any testing for credentials and designations, AI is aced. So we don't want to rely just on technical ability, but again, it is very good for knowledge. And there was a time in this space, knowledge was all you needed. Now it's a minimum requirement. So go beyond just your knowledge to expertise. We're now in the expertise economy. As a fee-for-service business, you have to continually work on your fee worthiness. You can't take anything for granted. We're going to talk a little bit about bench strength in a moment. One of the best things AI can do for you is adding to your reputational equity as a subject matter expert and thought leadership capabilities. For example, if you target business owners, if business owners, professionals, and executives are exactly who you're suited for, obviously you want to connect with those people based on your technical ability as an asset manager, but go deeper. Think about the unmet needs. Think about what financial independence does for that group of people. I know advisors who have taken the book, Good to Great, and gone into ChatGPT and said, summarize this book for me. Give me 1 page, the 5 key points from Good to Great. And they'll get that output. Then they do the same for the millionaire next door, understanding first generation self-made affluence. And then the book, Every Family's Business by Tom Deans, understanding the whole concept of getting ready for a liquidity event. And these advisors have taken those summaries as a collage and then mashed them together and then put in their own perspective and insights to create a white paper for business owners, professionals, and executives on how to prepare for retirement, prepare for an exit, drive enterprise value. And that content has been a hook for prospective clients and a bridge to be introduced by existing clients to friends and family members. I know other advisors who have created content around the theme of preparing heirs, around continuity, succession, and family investment legacy. There's a book written by Richard Watts called Entitlemania. It's essential reading for a financial advisor. You can summarize that. You can then take the book Beer Money, A Window into the Stroh Family and some of the dysfunction that can come around second and third generation aspects around affluence. And then you can take elements of the book Into Thin Air by John Krakauer, just to sort of create and shape content around what it means to be a financial Sherpa. I often say that a lot of people think that getting to the summit is the goal. No, that's a goal. The goal is getting back down. As a metaphor, the goal of having a financial advisor is not just to reach financial independence. It's what does it look like on the other side of that? The rest of their life. A lot of people get in trouble coming down than they do getting up. So creating content that speaks to embedding yourself within the family tree because you're bringing indispensable, absolutely key value. So many people kick that can down the road around the next gen. And from your perspective, you already know it's a lot different managing second generation found money, right? The suddenly affluent, than it is managing first generation earned money. You can create content using, at a minimum, just ChatGPT, just curating content from your own perspective. You can tell the world that you've sourced it from these other bona fide publications, but just giving it your own spin. That's expertise. Knowledge, expertise, and then the most important part. And you're probably in the space between expertise and this last frontier, which is intellectual property, where every single thing you fixate on and develop is proprietary to you. I want you to reimagine the concept of trust. Trust is the lifeblood of loyalty, total client engagement, and advocacy. But think about this. What is it that your clients actually trust? Well, chances are right now they trust you and they trust your people, your skills, your intentions, your moral compass, your decorum, your code of conduct, all of these qualities that are essential. I want them to trust much more than that. I want them to have as much trust and appreciation for your practice and your process as they do for you. That is engineered. And how does AI play a role in that? Well, let's talk about your people. First thing I'm going to ask you to do is commit to, at a minimum, a one-day off-site meeting with your team for the purposes of strategic planning. Just have an engagement with them about what the next 5 years look like. If you want your team to buy into your dream, buy into theirs. Understand what's important to them. Understand, why they're part of your team. Demonstrate to them that you care about what's important to them. Include them, engage them. One of the biggest parts of what we do when we do coaching with a team is strategic planning, order, organization, and structure. Create an org chart. Now, if after your strategic planning offsite with your team, you get some ideas on the table, you talk about wins, you talk about hiccups, you talk about things that you want to address, you can then use AI to embrace the concept of Tuckman's model. Tuckman's model is the best framework for driving team dynamics and synergizing everybody pulling in the same direction. And you've heard of it before. It's been around a long time. Forming a team in terms of organization and structure. Storming, like getting focused and launching to move in that direction. Forming, storming, norming, like just getting everything documented, and performing, measuring the qualitative and quantitative KPIs. And then the fifth portion of this is adjourning. What are you going to let go of? What are you going to detach from? It's a big part of Tuckman's model. Now, you think about your people, it's not just the people on your team. It's your addressable audience. Have you got an ideal client profile on paper? Have you gotten your ideal client completely laid out as a schematic? Not who you're looking for, who you're suited for. Who is your ideal client? And have you done this in a way that you could show a client to remove the mystery for them around who you're suited for? You could show a strategic partner like an accountant or an attorney. You could show a prospective client. You could actually elevate your professional scarcity by demystifying we're not all things to all people, we're all things to some people. You can go into ChatGPT and say, I'm a financial advisor. I work primarily with business owners, professionals, and executives. Create an ideal client profile based on needs, values, and goals of our ideal client. And then wait a couple of seconds. Now, the lost art in any diagnostic approach is the Socratic principle. Many issues are 2 or 3 questions deep. So you may have to go back and refine and optimize the output that chat gives you. You can frame it in role, goal, soul. Tell chat your role and the role of your addressable audience. Tell chat the goal. What are you trying to accomplish? And then humanize it with soul. Just ask it for a little bit more context. But when you create an ideal client profile based on their needs now and in the future, which is around socioeconomics, demographics, just the complexity of what a client is trying to accomplish, what needs they have, and then values, how you're aligned, the chemistry, the compatibility, the attitudinal qualities of the ideal client, and then the goals, the aspirations based on their family, occupation, recreation, and money, all the different things. This is where you elevate. And again, you activate professional scarcity. Now, we're suggesting to advisors that they always narrowcast instead of broadcast. So narrow your focus, but widen your scope in terms of what it means to be a financial professional for life and into the next generation. What do I mean by that? Form reminds you of the unmet needs around a client's goals and what financial independence actually does for them around their family, their occupation, and their recreational interests. I'm asking you to become a content machine, creating content that you can add to your service model and add to your blog and your content marketing engine on social media, LinkedIn or whatever the case may be, that speaks to unmet needs, little voids where you're hitting on things about their family, creating content that speaks to the family, speaking about their business or their occupation, their aspirations about achieving a work optional lifestyle and going to work because they want to, not because they have to. The recreational interests. ChatGPT can enable you to do that. Okay, now it goes even further. So you talk about your people. There's all kinds of things you can do to professionalize and standardize all the different people you interact with using AI. Let's go further and talk about the practice. Ultimately, the objective around intellectual property is to create a playbook, a procedures manual. Now, I know you probably already have, to varying degrees, an array of procedures, digitally and physically archived. Is it all put together? Do you have the bricks and the mortar of your playbook? Do you know you can go on to ChatGPT and say, I'm a financial advisor. I want to create a procedures manual of standard operating procedures. Create a checklist for my playbook. And just wait. It will kickstart that activity. Now, you take that with Tuckman's model with your team, you can have 80% of your playbook done in the next 90 days, maybe more. And I'm telling you, it is so powerful to have that organized digitally and to have it physically laid out, literally a intellectual property you can put into someone else's hands and say, this is our way. This is huge at driving your enterprise value. You know, part of what we do is to make sure you're always at the top of your game. And of course, love acronyms, TOP is an acronym. What you're trying to do based on enterprise value and, digging your well before you're thirsty. I mean, when your end game happens, TOP, tidy. Your entire business is tidy. The contracts and just everything regarding HR, partnerships, everything. There's no ghosts or skeletons in the closet. Nothing's left undone. Your business is tidy. AI can prepare you for that. Optimized. Nothing resides in your head. Remember, if what you do, any aspect of what you do resides in your head, it's a skill. It's an intention. It's not intellectual property. If you take the rule of 3 and apply it to your playbook, you're optimizing everything. The rule of 3, again, everything you do 3 or more times, it is 3 or more steps, has to be organized. And I'll get into more of that in a moment. Tidy, optimized, proprietary. It's yours, and it's not just about you. I meet advisors all the time. I talked to an advisor not long ago, Robert. I said, it can't be the Robert show. Make yourself obsolete. I want you to be able to take a 6-month sabbatical next week, and your business would run like a Swiss watch. That's when you get your practice completely built out, and you'll be at the top of your game. And then as you track in the direction of your exit strategy and your end game, you are fully monetizing your life work. It's just absolutely spectacular. Okay, people, practice, process. Okay, build out your process. So we talked about digital and physical. A lot of this is around verbal, the verbal representation of what makes you different. How you achieve professional contrast. AI can help you here. It's actually quite spectacular. This is the art and the science of getting to the next level. Okay, so I've been a broken record over the years asking advisors this question. What do you do? And what makes you different? It's not uncommon. An advisor will speak primarily to their technical ability. Not what's proprietary, what's commoditized. They'll use jargon, right? Asset allocation, standard deviation, Monte Carlo simulation. It's just a data dump of jargon. I had one advisor. It was interesting because I was pushing back respectfully, but he was getting a little agitated. And he said, look, we do things differently around here. We take a holistic approach to financial planning. I said, you just described 10,000 people. That's not proprietary. They said, look, we just help people. No. If you tell the world you help people achieve their financial goals, that's just basically saying I'm a good person. I try hard. I have good intentions. No. Take the abstract nature of what you do, make it conceptual. We have developed and refined a process that helps people. Keep imprinting the process and create a brand within a brand. Okay. People trust you and they have an understanding and appreciation for your practice. You've created a brand identity for your practice. Maybe you've called your business Stonebridge Advisors. Okay. That's an identity. That's a branding strategy. So your clients connect with that. They go to your website. They see Stonebridge. They see us, about us, who we are. They see the people. Build in a process, a brand within that brand. This is like the Intel Inside sticker on the computer. Create a brand that says home of the bridging method. Okay. Stonebridge Advisors is the brand of the practice. Now brand the process. Give that some personality. Call it something. It's a thing. You're not asking a client to buy individualized, commoditized products. You want them to buy into your process. Your process puts all those pieces of the puzzle together as a client's life unfolds. Without the process, you painted yourself into a commoditized corner. It's no different than the bucket of Lego. What makes that bucket of Lego valuable is my ability to actually create something. AI gives me the picture. Your process gives your clients the picture. I want your clients to buy into the picture, what your value does. What your value does is liberate your clients to go live their life. You can go on design.com and create a logo, the bridging method. Let's just say you call it a method, a process, a formula. Now it's a thing. Ask design.com using AI. Just tell it, I'm a financial advisor. I've got this business. This is the name of my business. I want to create a process that conveys this. You'll have a logo very, very quickly. You can go on a chatbot AI. You can even go on ChatGPT. You can go on Grok, on Twitter X, and create logos that create this identity. Imagine on your website, it said home of the bridging method. Imagine on the bottom of your agendas, the little Intel Inside sticker, it said powered by the bridging method. This is not promissory on performance. This is what it means to be. This is our way. This is our thing. You have your behind the scenes way, how you conduct yourself, and then you have your client facing way. This is our process. Every single thing you do is driven by a process. You don't sell investment products, but asset management's part of your process. You're not an insurance broker selling insurance products. Risk management's part of your process. I'm going to suggest that you request, if you're interested and you want to go deeper on this, I've got a little 8-minute video. It's called 7 Pillars, 1 Process. This will enable you to go back and reintroduce and reframe your existing relationships with long-term clients to rejuvenate their appreciation for you. This will enable you to create professional contrast with a prospective client, taking all of the things you do. You might do 65, 85 things for a client over the lifetime of the relationship. Those are commoditized. The pillars and the fluid and dynamic nature of how you conduct yourself, you want them to buy into one thing. You've got a process in place. My favorite pillar is the 7th pillar. The 7th pillar is a placeholder for all of your value-added services. advice, planning, service. Those are all parts of your process. It's not just because you're a good person. My favorite value-added service, being a sounding board for friends and family members of our clients. Being a sounding board for existing clients. Are you fully aware of every dollar your client has invested, not just within your process, but outside of the process? Your most significant clients are invested. They've got property, they've got other pursuits. There's going to be a liquidity event. They're going to monetize that at some point. You want to get out in front of that, position the process so that when that event happens, perhaps it will come inside the process. Being a sounding board for your clients, to strategize, looking down the road as a goals-based professional, not just a needs-based professional. Money in motion. When your clients inherit money or as their estate, I mean, you know how it works. Strategic partners. It's not just that they trust you. They need to know exactly what it looks like for their clients and how it will reflect back on the accountant or the lawyer or the other service provider. The more they understand your practice and your process, the more they'll trust you as a person. And they'll position your value as being a sounding board. I'm constantly reminding advisors, don't talk about, offering a second opinion. I mean, that's, again, swimming in a pool of sameness. A value-added service is part of our process to be a sounding board for friends and family members of our clients and for clients of our strategic partner. Position it that way. Now, let's go further. If you've read the Blue Square Method, you know that we have this framework called Always On. It's the 4 quadrants of your deliverables for your clients. It's what it means to be your client. 4 quadrants. The first quadrant, and this is where you start to really see your gaps. And by the way, here's a little plug as well. If you haven't already done so, I encourage you to opt in and invest an hour of your time going through our practice management index to identify your gaps and to know where you stand on the 18 focus areas of a well built out and refined business. Okay. These are where your gaps generally are. This is where you can elevate and raise the bar. Always on. 4 quadrants. The first is on-side, your fit process. Now you think about how many prospective clients you've met with over your many years of being a financial professional. If I were to call you up at 3:00 in the morning and wake you up and say, how many steps are in your fit process? Could you give me a number? Could you and your team show me your fit process? Literally, from the moment you get introduced to a prospective client, all the way through that encounter and those interactions, right up to the signing ceremony, do you have that completely defined? You can go into ChatGPT right now and say, I'm a financial advisor. Build me a fit process for when I meet with a prospective client to help create professional contrast and to help them see the merit in working with me instead of their current financial advisor. You will be shocked at that output that is in your hands in seconds. And now you have a framework for getting it out of your head. So it's no longer just a skill. It's not random. It's not haphazard. It's executed flawlessly every single time, whether or not you're in the office. Now go one step further using AI. Let's say you have a great client who calls you up and says, hey, you got to do me a favor. You got to talk to a good friend of mine. He's getting ready to sell his HVAC business that he built from scratch 28 years ago. He's a blue-collar business owner. And from what he told me, this is a home run. he's probably going to sell his business for north of $30 million. It's a good guy. So I'm sure you're absolutely gratified by the introduction. You probably get to know this person before you reach out to them. You go onto LinkedIn, you go to their website, you study them, and then you reach out and you want to have the conversation and see if it'll actually lead to an initial meeting to see if there might be a fit. If you went on to AI right now and said, I'm the owner of an HVAC business that I started 28 years ago, and I'm about to sell my business for $30 million, and I'm about to meet a financial advisor for the first time, and I want to see if there's a good fit. What questions should I ask? See, here's what's happening. You're not just seeing your value in the way that you've shaped your perception. You're adding perspective to the perception. You're looking at it through the lens of the prospective client, getting inside their head, understanding what's going on in their inside voice when they meet with you for the first time. You can ask them questions when you meet that maybe haven't even occurred to them yet. You can drive a wedge between them and any other advisor, especially their existing advisor that they might have felt that they've outgrown. AI is incredibly powerful. And you have to remember something. When somebody goes through a liquidity event like that, they're talking to other people, other service providers. They might talk to a lawyer who says, hey, you know what? Your current advisor, I think you've outgrown them. I've got a relationship with this advisor over here who deals with clients like you. Get inside their head. You'll see when you ask that question through the lens of the prospective client. One of the questions is, what is your position on alternative investments outside of traditional markets? How many clients do you have? As you continually grow up market, that becomes a big concern for the affluent. Back in the early days, they were with an advisor who had 300 clients, but now they feel, okay, my needs are more complex. I need a higher level of service. I want to meet with an advisor who's got 50 clients. And again, the concept of speaking with somebody, a client, prospective client who's got holdings and interests outside of your normal scope. Do you have a placeholder for alternative investments? Do you position that as being part of the process and part of your strategic plan? Dig your well before you're thirsty. On side. Now on board. You've onboarded countless clients over the years. How many steps are in your onboarding process? Is that fully built out? You know, it's interesting. When you show an existing client or a strategic partner your onboarding process and your on-site fit process, you know what you're doing? You're making yourself more referable because they know exactly what it looks like and how it's going to reflect on them when they make an introduction. Create a checklist. Tell ChatGPT, say to it, I'm a financial advisor. I want to build an onboarding process that fast tracks a new client to advocate status. And out it comes, a checklist, a progression. And you can supplement that. You can add to that. And I just have to say, you might be aware of our Pareto Academy and our learning management system that we talk about as supplements as a sidecar, our coaching and consulting deliverables. We're adding AI into that to accelerate implementation and deployment. Build out your onboarding process. Do you know that you can build supplemental video tutorials using AI that a brand new client, 60-second videos with AI instantly, that a brand new client can review as they're getting their head around your client experience. That whole interlude between a prospective client and a new client and transitioning from their former environment to yours, you can supplement in the form of a methodical sequential transition using supplemental videos. And AI will create that for you instantaneously. And again, this is not promissory on performance of an investment product. This is around your practice and your process and what it means to get your orientation for what it means to be your client. On-side, on board, and then ongoing. This is your service model. This is well underway. Many financial services teams are creating a service model for the 80% of the clients you generate 20% of the business. You can create a chat bot, a literally 24/7 virtual agent to supplement your client experience for the people who need you. It's self-guided. These are virtual tutorials to liberate you to go deeper with the clients who deserve you. I don't know what kind of service model you have in place. Perhaps it's a 12-4-2. 12 touches, one a month over the course of a year. The touches are not necessarily anything to do with money. Do you know there's an AI function called Jasper AI, that will enable you to create content videos very, very quickly, either for client experience or for informational perspectives around form to supplement your monthly touches. The 4, of course, is your 90-day call rotation prompted on the client's birthday. I'm sure you use a CRM, a client relationship management system, and I'm sure if it's of any significance, AI is built in to not just understand form and the client's goals, but also to create content as part of preparing you for touching base with a client and demonstrating that you know what's going on in their life. And then the 2 of 12-4-2 is your strategy and tactical meetings. Now, the ultimate strategy and tactical meeting has a primer where you confirm that the meeting's happening and you send the agenda in advance. So there's the primer, then there's the execution of the meeting. I'm sure you have, at least at a minimum, looked at the co-pilot sidecar technology where you can effectively be the relationship whisperer. Read AI, order whatever the AI functionality that you've either already embraced or considered embracing, that will ensure that nothing falls through the cracks and nothing goes to your head to die as a client is telling you what's going on in their life. And there's ways to shape this from a functionality perspective, from a compliance perspective, to make sure you're obviously adhering to the protocol. Prime your strategy and tactical meetings, execute flawlessly, and then follow up with a summary of what you discussed. Incredible. And again, the content that you create, you can repurpose. If you're on LinkedIn and you understand the degrees of separation from your core followers, and you've created your niche and you're narrowcasting that niche, have you looked at AI on LinkedIn to proof and polish the content, the posts that you're making, and to repurpose some of the content you're creating for your clients as part of your social posts? Look at search engine optimization using AI. If you want to be found, if you want to make it even easier for your clients to drive, again, you know our philosophy, work with the people who are already convinced, make it easy for them to convince people. You're not going out and trying to, find new people. You want to be found by people. It's often said that as many as 44% of clients of financial advisors are open to pursuing options, which means when they're alone with their thoughts online, they're looking at alternatives. What are they finding? Are they finding you? Standard operating procedures, workflows, all of this creates efficiency, optimization, and again, beginning with the end in mind, culminates in your enterprise value. Build out your on-site fit process. Build out your onboarding process. Just tell AI what you're trying to do. Tell it the role, tell it the goal, give it some soul, humanize it, refine it, get it out of your head, digitize it, physically archive it and organize it. And then lastly, on the always on placeholder is onwards. Onwards is how you demonstrate that you care about what's going on in your client's life. It's responding to critical life events, moments of truth, milestones, achievements, and setbacks that occur. It creates this energy that they're in good hands. You're their safe harbor. Think about this. What do your clients want? Park for a second what it is you do. What is it that they want? And then do they fully appreciate that what you do is aligned with what they want? I'm asking you to consider the idea of creating a chief acknowledgement officer on your team. Somebody who will acknowledge what's going on in your client's life, that demonstrates that you know what they want, what they're trying to achieve, what they aspire to, what keeps them up at night, what they crave. What do they crave? Well, here's the acronym, CRAVE. They want consistency. Consistency in how you conduct yourself. They want recognition for what's going on in their life. They want accountability. Nothing falls through the cracks. They want validation, which is constant interaction. The number one reason why somebody leaves a financial advisor, you know this? Lack of consistent and validating communication. And they want execution. You run your business like a business. That's what they crave. What do you want? You want your clients to brag about you. Another acronym. Activate a sense of belonging. They feel like they're part of something. You look at Maslow's hierarchy right at the core. That is an aspiration. It's a need they have, is to feel like they're part of a tribe, part of something. Belonging, recognition. Acknowledge, take action on what's going on in their life. It's your job to know. It's your job to notice. Your chief acknowledgement officer, if they were to book a recurring meeting with themselves every day at 2:00 for 30 minutes, all they do is they look at the social media of your top 50 clients. What are they posting? There are things going on in their life that they don't tell you, not because they want to tell you. It's just based on your service model and the interactions, things happen in between your interactions. They got a new puppy. They just went on a Viking River cruise. Daughter got accepted to a great school. Something so nice happened. Get your chief acknowledgement officer to send one card a day to pay tribute to what's going on in your client's life. Signed by everybody on the team. Tell ChatGPT, I'm a financial advisor. This happened in my client's life. Write me a message to put in a card. Standardize this. Belong, recognize, acknowledge with action, and gratitude. Creating an attitude of gratitude. And take action in a way that has something tangible tied to it. Go from vapor to paper, things they can hold in their hands. That's why cards are so important. This makes you referable. Being referable makes you on the verge of referrals, but you know how it is. You don't want to talk about referrals, but you want to remind them. So just think about this. Look, I know we're only scratching the surface. Always on, those 4 quadrants, being a content machine, using AI, all of this different functionality. It's just absolutely incredible. I really encourage you to do the PMI. And in the spirit of plateau avoidance, I got to see Justin Rose present, a professional golfer, and he had this great philosophy. He said, I don't try to find one thing and improve it by 10%. I try to find 10 things that I can improve by 1%. And he talked about all the different things and all his coaches and, a lot of his favorite coaches had nothing to do with hitting a golf ball. He talked about diet and stretching and mental toughness and sleep and exercise and strength, of course, all of whom contributed to the way he hit a golf ball. AI, it's not one thing that's going to blow your business through the roof, but it's a very important thing. And direction is more important than speed. Done is better than perfect. Just getting into this and starting at a level where you can just start embracing this. It gives you immense credibility as a fiduciary. It adds incredible efficiency and productivity as a professional. And it's very interesting personally and conveys to the world that the clay is soft. So look for that white paper, the 17 best practices for a financial professional using artificial intelligence. Consider going on the wait list for the Turnkey Advisor, becoming a member, looking at the value of joining that group, that club, and schedule a call if you want to learn more about strategic planning and embracing some of these innovations and going deeper and talking about what you can do to level up. That'd be great. I hope this was valuable. I hope you finish strong in 2024. Make next year your best year ever. Okay. Thanks for watching.